Welcome to Sports, Wheels, and Reels with Jeff Miller and Austin Horton. One show, two guys, three topics, unlimited possibilities. Presented by Mark Miller Subaru. Engage with us on social media or email us at podcast@mmsubaru.com. And now, welcome your hosts, Jeff Miller and Austin Horton.
Hey, howdy, hi. Episode 23 of Sports, Wheels, and Reels. I'm Austin. He's Jeff. What's up?
Good. It's been a little bit. Couple weeks. We're back. We got some news to talk about.
What was that term actually? It's been a hot second since we had a show.
Still no trade?
Still no trade.
We'll talk about that for sure.
We'll get into that. Back from vacation and NDA meetings and... Wait, not NDA.
Yeah, that's a weird
one. That's non-disclosure agreement.
That makes me sound really bad. A Retailer Advisory Board. NRAB. National Retailer Advisory Board. There you go.
Hey, NDAs coming up.
Back at headquarters.
Episode. We got to talk sports. We have all kinds of stuff from that NDA agreement meeting in Wheels. And then Jeff.
I was actually down at Mar-a-Lago.
Got him.
Sorry, I had to throw one in. Right? But...
Oh, man. We'll do it all coming up next. Be right back.
My name is Cindy Savage, and my Subaru is my Swiss Army knife. My Subaru fits my lifestyle because I am all over the place. I'm working a lot, driving in and out of the city. I love to travel, take road trips on the weekends, love going to concerts. I love getting my car serviced at Mark Miller Subaru. They're really quick and friendly, and it's super easy. Subaru is a brand I trust, and Mark Miller Subaru is a local Utah retailer that I love.
All right, the judge has signed their search warrant, and we're ready to go here.
We're searching the Jazz offices for trade data.
For real, honestly. It's been, 7 years since we had thought this trade was going to happen?
You thought it was going to happen the day of our show last time.
Well, and I shouldn't have, because...
I'm going to put the picture back up. I still got the Rudy crossed off.
Oh, sad.
It's really sad.
Have you seen all his videos and stuff? We're in Minnesota.
Yeah, it's so sad. I don't think he's leaving here either. Everything I've heard is he's not selling his house. He's going to come spend off seasons here. Like, he loves it here.
His mom was going to buy a house here.
Yeah, they really like it here.
That will
so
still happen.
Maybe someday he comes back at the tail of his career and
should his number be retired by the Utah Jazz?
I don't know.
He's done as much as Mark Eaton ever did.
That's true.
Rest in peace to my guy.
That's true.
So,
yeah.
All right, but let's talk about it. The reason our guy, my friend James Hansen, who runs a terrific YouTube show.
Yeah, I watched that YouTube video that you put out there.
He nailed it.
I think you're right. I think it's the 60-day. There's a 60-day clause on the contract. So July 3rd, I think it was, July 5th, something like that was the date of the trade. The official date of the trade.
Yeah.
It goes off the official date, not when it's announced.
So the Jazz are probably, James has this theory, and I think he's probably right. The Jazz are probably going to be trading Donovan Mitchell. PK, Patrick Kinahan, when he reported it's all but done, was probably right. The issue is that unless you're doing a straight across trade, you cannot trade a player that you just acquired.
You can't
for 60
aggregate
days.
A trade a player with another player for 60 days. So that would be September 3rd-ish. Ruining everyone's Labor Day.
Right. And training camp opens around then.
Yeah,
the second week of September.
10th or the 15th, if I remember right.
And so if the Jazz are in part of that trade, if there's Patrick Beverly, Malik Beasley, let's see the guy, Vanderbilt.
Kessler.
Well, except he was a first-round pick, right? I think is different for him.
They just signed him, but I don't think they want to get rid of him. They need him as a center.
Yep. So if they are including them for some of New York's picks, or salary match or whatever.
Or players or whatever, yeah.
Then it can't
be
done.
Wait. You can't announce it for another 3 weeks.
So is that...
Maybe it's still there. Maybe it's not, though.
That's what I was going to ask you. Give me a percentage that this happens before the season opens, that Donovan Mitchell does not begin the season in a Utah Jazz uniform.
I'd say 50-50.
Really?
I would not be... The problem is that the Knicks have gotten so much crap on social media and everything about that's way too much. I can't believe they're giving up all that stuff and everything like that. That I can see them try and hold off and be like, no, we're only going to give you 3 picks. And Danny Ainge you don't play poker with Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge is going to be like, okay, we'll keep him. We have him for 3 more years under contract. There's nothing he can do.
Especially after what Minnesota gave.
Totally, right? And I don't think it hurts the Jazz to open with Donovan still on the team.
No, Donovan's going to be a good soldier, so to speak.
If they don't get the full package, they're not trading Donovan Mitchell. They're not fire sailing Donovan Mitchell, especially going into a season where they have an All-Star game, where they wouldn't mind having him to represent the Jazz in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because he's a no-brainer All-Star.
Would he do the dunk contest again?
I don't know.
Is he a no-brainer All-Star?
Without Rudy, where he's going to be taking 25 shots a night? Yeah, he is.
So?
He's going to be scoring 32 a game. You kidding me?
I'm of the opinion I think his game drops a little without Rudy Gobert, but that's just me.
It depends who they put in the middle, right? Depends on how they run the offense, if they change it. It's a whole new coach, too, you got to see. So you got a whole new offense probably coming in, a whole new defense. Like, you got new players, new coaches coming in. I guess they're keeping some of the coaches, right? They're keeping Skeeter. They're keeping
Alex Jensen.
So you'll see. But
50-50, really?
At our last show, I would have said it was 80-20, 90-10. I think it's closer to 50-50 right now. I think New York will balk and not want to give up everything they out there. A lot of it depends, too, if Durant gets traded. That messes with everything, too.
Yeah. So you go 50-50. I still am around an 80-20. I think he's on his way. I think he's been told he's gone. I think that the Knicks have decided their fate with what they're giving to Utah. I don't think there's anything else that needs to happen other than revisiting when that 60 days expires.
So if you're throwing in one of those players, you're throwing in a bigger contract. You're throwing in a $15 million Beasley, I think Vanderbilt's 8 or something like that, and Beverly's
20,
15, 20, a lot. There's some money in there. So now the hard part was with them finding money to match Mitchell's salary come back because they're over the cap. So now are you talking about bringing back a Randall? Are you bringing back a Barrett?
Yeah, well, you're bringing back somebody.
You're not just bringing back those guys that we were talking about before, these young guys. You're bringing back a Derrick Rose. You're bringing back somebody with some salary.
And there was a report this week about why the Knicks would be hesitant to include Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, strangely, has beef with the Jazz because they traded for him once and then didn't bring him in or something. I don't know. That was weird. But
then at that point, if that goes down, then you got other trades coming. Then you got Bogey probably going out. Then you got Conley probably going out. You probably maybe figure out a Conley and Bogey for a Sexton kind of deal. I just don't want him trading to the Lakers because I don't want to do anything to help the Lakers.
Well, right. And that's where I think this actually applies. Is I'm not so sure that a Beverly to the Knicks is included in a Mitchell to the Knicks. I think it's more the Jazz are waiting for the whole thing to happen before they go with the Bogey deal, the Conley deal.
Yeah, they're not gonna trade Bogey and Conley unless Mitchell's gone. If Mitchell doesn't go, Bogey and Conley I think stay and they make another push for the playoffs and give it another season before they really rebuild, or they blow it up in the middle of the year kind of thing.
It will either be blown up in the middle of the year or before the year. That's guaranteed. I promise you, it's gonna happen. Quinn Snyder quit because there's a blow up happening.
Unless they figure out how to find Mitchell another player that he wants to be with, a big man he wants to be with, and can trade for him. And then they run with it.
But that big man will still be with the Utah Jazz, and Donovan Mitchell doesn't want to be with the Utah Jazz.
You don't know that.
I do know that. I absolutely know that. But anyway.
So, you never know.
So that's where it stands. Who knows? I think it's still 80-20. You're 50-50. It'll be fun to see what happens, but it's been a long, boring summer of waiting for something else to drop.
Well, one thing that's always well known, the Jazz office has always been pretty tight-lipped, and they don't leak like crazy. Unless they want to.
Yep. Yeah.
Unless they're very planned leagues.
Yep. Hey, let's talk Little League World Series for a moment.
You don't like the Little League World Series.
Now, that's not true. Are
you cynical about the Little League World Series?
I love Little League.
I love the Little League World Series.
I am
As
cynical.
a Little League baseball coach myself.
Yeah.
I really
Currently?
enjoy it. Yeah, I coached not the 12-year-old, not the majors. I was a minor coach. I was 9 and 10-year-olds. I wasn't
pitching machine or
no, still player pitch.
Oh my gosh,
But it wasn't.
How long are those games?
Oh, they're brutal. Oh, it's just.
Is there a strike shown?
But it's not. So like once you get to majors, that's when you can like steal and like the pitchers have to know the balk rules. Like you got to actually know stuff.
And they can hit the zone a little bit.
Yeah, some of these minor league kids can too. Like there were a couple of 9, 10-year-olds that could throw heat. They're like, there was one kid on one of the other teams that was throwing hard enough. I was afraid for the safety of my players because he could throw hard and wasn't accurate. It's like Wild Thing out there.
Jeff's like, we will not play this team.
But they're throwing, you're talking about a kid throwing a 55, 60-mile-an-hour fastball.
On a little 8-year-old, 9-year-old. Yeah.
From 40 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference is 60-year-old, like that's what they talk about in Little League. That's what they talk about in Little League World Series, right? If you can get these 12-year-olds throwing 60, 65 miles an hour, it's like throwing a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
The equivalent.
It's the equivalent because of the reaction time.
Well, this is why I'm a little disgusted by the Little League World Series. I watch it, I catch it here and there. My dad, who's been a Little League coach my entire life, every one of his kids he coached all the time. He was always generous with his time.
So what are you discussing?
He watches it all the time. It's on in our waiting room.
Yeah, it's constantly. On ESPN constantly right now.
That's what I'm disgusted by. I feel a little icky watching ESPN make millions of dollars on the backs of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds.
I don't mind that because people want to watch it.
And then we're watching these games as though we're watching the actual World Series and criticizing these 11-year-olds.
But here's your difference, though.
The guy on a Barstool throwing a fit over the good sportsmanship that was shown the other day.
I'm gonna make you feel better about it, though.
Okay, you won't. But go ahead.
What the ESPN guys putting that on TV versus what it used to be, where it was just the finals on TV, not all the regional tournaments, something like that. They pay for the kids to go.
They pay for the trip.
Yeah, the kids get the hotel rooms and all that. It used to be a lot of these Little League teams couldn't make these trips because they couldn't afford to
That's a good point.
travel and do it all. Now, at least the kids are getting brought out there and having their room and board and paid for them and their coaches to get out there. Whereas before, it was up to them fundraising, coming and finding dealerships and car places like us to sponsor them and everything like that. Now, at least they've got that going on.
Well, and to that end, it's always been about the experience for the kids, no matter if it's on TV or not. And the fact that they get that experience, please, I absolutely am for that.
If you want to feel bad, you want to feel icky and bad about it, think about the fact that there's online gambling on it. that part I would absolutely say no, because you could just see some guy DMing one of these 12-year-olds on their Instagram account and trying to get him to throw a game.
or just even the trolls that come out after these.
I'll give you some GameStop gift cards.
That's Danny Almonte at 29 years old out there.
But cool news on this, though, is playing today for a spot in the championship is the team from Utah.
The Snow Canyon?
Yeah, Snow Canyon team is 3-0, or 2-0 or 3-0? 2-0.
2-0.
They're 2-0 in the regional.
Won in walk-off fashion.
I think if they win 2 more games in the regional, they make the World Series.
Yes.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I don't remember the last time a Utah team made the World Series.
And you know how dramatic the Donovan Mitchell thing has been? There was an actual news story about him cheering for Snow Canyon.
Because he's handling it great.
He's a good guy.
He's a good dude. Donovan's a good dude.
So good luck to Snow Canyon.
Good luck to them. Hopefully next week we'll find out if they made it.
All right. Speaking of icky.
Deshaun Watson.
Good grief, this guy.
What did he get, 6 games?
6 games. Commissioner Goodell, or as the guy that owns Walmart that now owns the Denver Broncos, you see what he called him? Our thanks to Commissioner Goodell. Yeah, you're a real football guy there, Sam Walton. Commissioner Goodell. So Goodell came out and said, this guy should have been thrown out of the league, but he couldn't do it. And
did it on conduct, right? So he wasn't charged.
He was not charged legally.
He settled out of court with the victims.
That's why he wasn't charged. Yeah.
So
they brought charges against him. They had enough to bring charges against him, but these victims chose to settle, and that's their right and prerogative. And
that's why he got even 6 games. So because I mean, without even having
was it conduct detrimental to the league?
Conduct detrimental to the league, and I mean he should have gotten more.
Goodell called him a predator. And I think he absolutely is a predator.
From all the stories that are out there, absolutely.
And he's really good at playing football, and so he's getting away with it because he's got millions of dollars. And
the Browns need him.
Shouldn't happen, and I hope the Browns never win another quarter, let alone another game, for employing a person of this kind of... Because he has shown no remorse. He has shown no desire to rehab and be a better citizen.
So will he technically be on the IR for the first 6 games, like a suspension list or whatever?
Well, he's appealing it. He's appealing the 6 games, so it'll probably end up being at 2 games.
So you're going to draft him, right? To your fantasy?
No, I don't play. I don't play fantasy sports because I can't handle myself.
That's probably a good thing.
My family and all my friends. I'm like, I gotta watch the Browns versus Panthers game tonight.
I agree with that. It probably would not be a good thing for you.
All right, that's it for sports. Hey, before we move on, though, we had some people chime in on Twitter.
Okay.
Some
questions?
listeners. Yeah, Ashley sends out, follow us on Twitter, the SWR Podcast. We ask every week for questions, comments, things you want to hear or see or be talked about on the show. Lyle Wolf, a longtime supporter of Car Sense.
Nice.
And the Movie Zone and all. He I don't remember what Lyle does for a living, but he's constantly listening.
Awesome.
And is not afraid to tell me when I suck. And I appreciate that.
As am I.
That's right. Now I got to listen to you. You're my employer. Before I'd be like, whatever. Yeah. Lyle said his suggestion is he wants the show to be longer.
Longer.
Which I wholeheartedly disagree with.
Well, probably because of our last episode. Our last episode was like 45 minutes.
It's like no one's watching this whole thing.
We were on rants last week.
That's right.
We just kept going.
So much. We had to have a 2-week break. We went so long that show. And then Ben Coombs, another longtime supporter and good friend, he had a lot of questions. He also wanted to know if you're prepared to give away a BRZ on the show.
I'm not.
Oh, well.
But if you get us
Glad we brought that up.
Get us to 10,000 listeners every week, and we'll still start talking about some giveaways like that.
But the good news is, and as we go into Wheels' next segment, I wanted to say we actually have a BRZ that's coming here in 2 to 3 weeks that is currently unspoken for.
Not counted for.
Yes.
Interesting.
So if you've been waiting on the 22 BRZ.
Wow, that is rare.
I think it's sapphire blue.
Ooh, blue, nice.
Yeah. The automatic transmission, I think. So.
Okay.
Let us know. It's on its way, Ben. So you may not win one, but you can buy one.
Yeah.
All right. We'll work on Jeff. We'll try to get one given away on Sports Wheels and Reels. Come on. Let's give away a car. Might be a Lego car. But we'll give one away.
This like little remote control car. You got those, right?
Speaking of cars, Wheels is next. Be right back.
My name is Sierra Hudson. My Subaru is safety for my family. So this past winter, we hit a black ice and we just started to slide. And it was just one of those moments where you truly feel helpless. I know it's a car, but it means so much more to us and our family. Subaru is one of the safest brands, and I've personally lived that. Subaru is a brand you can trust, and Mark Miller Subaru is the local Utah retailer that you will love.
All right, let's talk cars.
Cars.
Jeff Miller. First and foremost, Mark Miller Subaru, we're hiring.
Yes, lots of places.
Pretty much anything you want to do.
If you'd like to be in the car business, come talk to Megan or Heather.
Yeah, and they hired the likes of me, so you probably have a really good chance of being hired.
And if he can figure out how to do it, anyone can.
Yeah, true, honest. That's just the reality of it. But if everything from lube technician to a product specialist car salesperson to
collision tech, concierge.
Concierge is a great
entry-level position. Learn how to deliver our cars, do pickup drop-offs in our service department. Really fun department. Great place to be.
Make some good money and have a good life. So come on down and apply.
Check our website, markmillersubaru.com, and there's a website. There's a application link there.
Long awaited, the 2023 Subaru
Isn't that
Ascent.
A great looking car?
They did a really nice job.
The new front end on this thing, it's a whole new front end redesign. So basically the entire front bumper is all redone, and then the metal strip along the back has been restripped.
Like these air intakes.
Yeah. A lot bolder look. Looks just a lot cooler car.
The hexagonal fog lights. It's kind of cool. The inside, you got the full 11-inch screen.
There you go. I got a picture for you.
There. I like that.
The new, it's the new 1.5 new software on this, where they actually bring all the controls in one, so it's one touch for everything. So one touch for heated seats. That was a complaint on the last one. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
And wireless CarPlay.
Wireless CarPlay or
Android Auto for those other people,
which actually works a lot better. The Subaru.
Did you notice this too?
I did.
It's a USB-C.
A USB-C next to a USB-A.
Yep.
But before it was 2 A's.
Yep.
Now you got a C there, and you still have the aux cord right there in front. Yep. And it's no longer tucked back in here like it was on one generation. It's now right up here.
So this is what they call, this is the 1.5 unit is what they're called in Subaru world. So I got at the national meeting, so for the 2025 will be the next generation of this stuff coming out. So you're talking 3 years from now. And that is what we're hearing is a full digital dash. Coming all the way across.
What?
There will no longer be
Needles?
mechanical needles. It'll be a full mechanical dash by 2025 across the board in every model.
Wow.
Allegedly, I'm going to get to see it in October. But
This coming October?
yeah, in a couple
Wow.
months. So I'll get that idea. But this is it's going to be neat. It's a much better system. Outback Legacy, people love that full screen dash. It's weird getting into a Sen after driving an Outback for a while and
Yeah.
seeing the little dash. It seems so little.
Yep. We got our Ascent in April of this year. We love it. But now that the 23 is out, we're like,
Do you notice the green stitching on the Onyx?
Yeah, the Onyx
So
now has the
Onyx
green,
this green stitching on the
which was
StarTech.
a huge want from the customers out there. They
And
like
it got rid of the
green,
light, and it got rid of the light bar too across the passenger seat,
which was my number one dislike. was
everyone
the
hated it because it got
light
so
color.
dirty, and it was weird having the light against the dark.
There's also a special edition of the Onyx where you can get pretty much everything that's in the Limited,
Yep.
but with the Onyx StarTech material seats.
The Onyx Limited.
Which I just had, and shout out Annie Vu, a customer who just ordered a 22. It arrived this week, but the reason she was hesitant is she was hoping that the rumors about the limited Onyx, so to speak, were true, and so she ordered this 22 Onyx, but she put in sunshades. She did a whole bunch of stuff to try and match the limited package.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you can get a limited package with the Onyx seats.
The only thing I wish was on that Onyx Limited is the ventilated seats.
Yeah,
I wish they would have put the ventilated seats on it. They don't have the driver focus is only in the Ascent Touring and the new Cabin Connect, which is the yelling at your kid in the third row feature.
the intercom. Yeah.
Which was funny. They were telling us about that during our meeting a couple of days ago. And like, yeah, so the Cabin Connect, what that does is allows you to put a speaker and talk to the person in the third row. But they can't talk back to you.
Yeah.
It's like, that's perfect. That's exactly how a parent wants it. I just want to be able to yell to the back. I don't need to hear what they say back to me. Just let me yell to the back at them.
Just let me tell them, I will pull this car over, and then hear the response.
Yeah,
you do get the surround.
You do get the surround view monitor, yeah. So the Onyx Limited will have the panoramic, it'll have big moonroof, and it'll have the surround view monitor, which will show you a big overhead of the car.
And the best news about this, the reason we're talking in depth, is we can now order you one.
Yep,
It's been a long wait, but we're open now.
Yep, it should be on the ground in October.
Oh, so you've waited long to order it. You won't wait too long to get it.
No, but
Love it.
October is when it should be on the ground. So we're very excited about it.
Speaking of NRDA,
RAB. Yeah.
National Retailer Board.
Austin hasn't even seen these pictures yet, so I'm going to show them to you guys. You do it. So while I was at my meeting, we got to have.
Where was this meeting this time?
That's at headquarters. So it's
Camden?
in Camden, New Jersey. They have their old service lot. So they have their old service building that they like the original one when they first started as Subaru, where they used to fix all the employee cars and things like that.
Oh,
so
cool.
now they store all their old cars there. And so we got to do a little cocktail hour there and see all the old Subarus. So I got some pictures.
They've held on to them.
Yeah,
They're
they're all.
storing
There's some amazingly cool cars. I didn't even get pictures of all of them.
Oh, I want this one.
So that's the 360.
This is the original Subaru.
That's an
Is it
FF.
not?
That's an FF1. That's the original 360.
That is what I want.
60s. This is the original one that came to the U.S. FF1.
What is this? Sorry, can you go back one? What is this gold thing?
That's an old rally car.
Oh, that is
Oh,
cool.
they got some crazy cars in here. So what else we got in here? So a couple GLs.
Oh, look at that.
Those are GLs. That's the original
The
Brat. Yep.
See,
See the seats in the back? They had little lap belts on them and little racing handles.
this looks. I'm
do you
not a
know-
big fan of the Brat, but that looks cool.
Oh, it's really cool. Do you know why those seats were in the back?
So that you could run away from the police faster.
No, so it wasn't called a truck.
Oh.
So they could get away from the chicken tax. It's literally why there were seats in the back of that car.
That's innovative thinking.
That's
Oh,
the
there you
original
go.
RX. So
There
this
you
is
go.
the original basis for what the WRX became.
Wow.
The two-door
Who
sports coupe.
maintains
Look
these?
at those wheels.
That is ridiculous.
Just Subaru does. I mean, they run them. They take them to shows and things like that and use them for events.
That's cool.
Original Outbacks. That's a 96 original Outback. That's the original. That's where it all started.
That's what your grandma had.
That's what one of my first cars when I was 16.
There's still people driving those.
Oh yeah, that thing's still on the road. They're definitely those still on the road.
Yeah.
Original Forester.
Then now,
That's a
I will
98
say
Forester.
the new Forester's better than the original Forester.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. The original
Whoa.
the original B9 Tribeca. Look how ugly that thing was.
That is not good.
That was very bad. That
What
made
is
it 1
this
year.
bubble?
That was a concept car that Subaru made and never made it to market.
You don't say.
Can't imagine why not. What else we got? So this is the old Cyclops. So they used to have this. Was the idea of it was a passing light. So if you were going to change lanes to pass someone, it would turn the third light on. It never caught on. Like the whole idea was this light would pop up and you'd have a third light that would say, "I'm trying to pass you." But it only works if everyone does it. It doesn't work if just Subaru's doing it. No one else did it. So I took a picture of this because this is cool. This is a story my dad used to tell about old Subarus. Was when they used to get these cars in the 70s, they had AC on. Right? So it said AC here, but it wasn't standard. So you basically would have the car and you'd have to pay an extra, like it was like a $6,000-$7,000 car. You had to pay like $1,200 for air conditioning. And people wouldn't do it. And so then summer would hit and they'd come into the store and say, "My AC doesn't work. I've got it on AC and it's not blowing cold." And you'd have to tell the customer, "Well, you don't have AC." So the next thing you see on the sticker is equipped for optional AC. And they used to when you sign your car deal, they used to have to sign another piece of paper saying this vehicle does not have air conditioning.
Wow.
So my dad used to tell me the story, and that proves it. There it is right there. So they had the Subaru even had the sticker on it that said it's available AC.
And look at this old tuner.
Isn't that crazy?
FM. Yeah. I want this like on my desk.
That thing's pretty cool, right? So
all right. Well, there you go.
There was some other stuff. Some other cool things they had there. So they had the S209 original STI. When they had a special edition, they made 209 of them. They have number 1 there.
The first one.
The first one off the line. They have their first Spec B.
Do people drive these, or they just sit there?
I have some sitting. They drive them occasionally, but they had the original Spec B there.
Wow.
So the number 1 Spec B was there.
That's cool.
Yeah, they had Bucky Lasix race cars there.
And you were telling me this is not a public.
This is not
entrance.
public. In fact, they told us when we did this, do not pin where you are at. Because they don't want people to know and come and.
Because people would want to go see these.
Some of these, I mean, that original S209 is a $100,000 car.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a crazy expensive car. There's some really expensive cars in there.
All right, Jeep and Ford, by the way,
new fancy windshield wipers
have filed patents on some new windshield wipers.
Yeah, look at this.
And here's the video.
Squirts right out of the wiper.
You can see instead of that fluid coming from the little diode up onto the windshield, then the wiper's going. The fluid goes right in front of the wiper.
I think it's a cool idea, but look how much fluid's coming out of that wiper.
It's a ton of fluid.
It's a ton of fluid. You're going to be out of windshield wiper fluid in 2 days.
I wonder if the reservoir is going to be bigger.
It'd have to be.
Well, yeah, it should be. But I honestly think this is how it's going to be.
I think it's cool. I think it's a really cool idea. Just a matter of they figure out how to make 30-gallon reservoirs.
You have a pup that
the entire front of your car is now windshield wiper fluid.
It's like one of those beer helmets with the
right.
But I think especially for safety, the 2 seconds of blind.
Yeah, this
when you're waiting
so there's
for
no
the
blind.
Like,
look how quick that is. It's like bam, gone.
I think it's gonna happen.
I think it's cool.
All right.
Love Promise.
Love Promise partner of our profile. I wanted to talk about what we're doing for our teachers right now.
Adopt a Classroom. Subaru Loves Learning. Subaru Loves Learning Month.
Which we do love learning. Growing up, excuse me, I didn't like school. I was good at school, but I never liked school. And I think I took it for granted what we have in this country. Even the public education that's available.
Still a good education.
And how much...
Could be a lot better.
It could be and should be and needs to be.
It needs a lot more money.
Especially right at the federal level, but we can get into that another time. But I feel like teachers are asked, especially in this state, to do way too much out of their own pocket.
Totally.
It should be zero out of their own pocket.
But how many teachers are out there spending their own money on school supplies and supplying their whole classrooms is just
My
crazy.
own mom, she would not tell me how much because she didn't want me to say.
Yeah.
So I guessed $5,000 a year out of her own pocket.
Out of her own pocket.
And
teachers aren't making that much money.
She's not making money.
Yeah, they're not making a ton of money.
So what we're doing here, you could come in and even write a thank you note.
Yeah, so we have thank you notes you can write to teachers that we'll deliver to the schools. We're supporting 2 schools. So our Southtown store is supporting Kearns Middle School, I think.
Yes.
And then this store is Farnsworth, which is who we do all of our learning and our tutoring with.
Yeah.
But we put together big care packages with school supplies for different teachers and classrooms. So we've done that already and made a big donation to them as well. But the idea is to try and get supplies to these schools so they don't have to buy them themselves.
Exactly. So even if you just want to come in and talk about your favorite teacher, we've got some cards. You can write a thank you note, and we'll deliver that to a teacher. That's something that you should bring your kids by and have them do.
And if you just want to help the school, you can go to adoptaclassroom.org too and donate to them, and they will deliver it. And they are very good at researching and talking to the teachers and making sure they're getting the correct supplies for what the teachers need.
It's not just stuff.
They're not just throwing a bunch of stuff they get a discount at Costco for. They're actually going and researching. A lot of the stuff they have is fidget stuff, right? Like little pop tools and stuff like that for anxiety for kids. Like little things like that. I mean, it's things that you wouldn't think about as school supplies.
Yeah.
But they're really helpful for the teachers and
it helps kids with those ailments learn.
Definitely.
To have a fidget in their hand. So
you can learn more about it.
Cell phone.
Learn more about it adoptaclassroom.org or on our Mark Miller Subaru websites.
All right, coming up next, we'll talk some movies. Jeff just informed me about a documentary on Netflix.
This relates to things we talked about on the show years ago. Years about how it would be a great movie.
And it will be.
And it will be. And it will be a real movie at some point, but we'll talk about it after the break.
Be right back.
My name's Jamie Usry, and my Subaru is Freedom. I've had so many animals over the years. One of the things that I love about Mark Miller Subaru is they're the largest animal welfare supporter in the Salt Lake Valley. You may not even realize it, but they're probably supporting a nonprofit that you love in the community. And my wife and I, our daughter Harper, and our dogs, we're just so happy that we picked Mark Miller Subaru. Subaru is a brand that I trust, and Mark Miller Subaru is the local retailer that I love.
Where do you want to start?
Movies. Let's talk about Lightyear.
All right, Lightyear. I saw Lightyear on my vacation to California. I've seen it 3 times at home since. It's good.
So the two movies that you're reviewing are the 2 movies I keep trying to get my kids to watch them, but they've already watched them and they won't watch them again with me.
Why won't they watch this again?
I don't know.
It was way better the second time.
I've got no kids at home, and I might just go watch Lightyear by myself.
You should. It's funny.
Might be a little weird, but...
It's not weird. It's Pixar. It'd be weird if you were watching Blue's Clues.
Why isn't it Tim Allen?
Well, because Tim Allen played the toy, not the movie. This is the movie that the toy comes from.
So it wouldn't make sense.
Has nothing to do with Toy Story.
Okay.
Nothing.
But it was good?
It was actually really good. I had a couple gripes with it, mainly because...
As you do with most movies.
That's right. That's right. Who would I be if I didn't complain? They had a cartoon that came out in the early 2000s about Star Command. It was so funny. It was like the backstory of the Lightyear character. This had this
nothing to do with it. Didn't relate.
That bothers me for continuity reasons. But really good. I think it's worth a watch or two.
Okay. And your second one, Rise of Gru?
Sucks. Terrible.
Is it bad?
No good.
So I shouldn't watch that one without my kids because they won't watch that one a second time either.
But my wife and my children love it. We've watched it ad nauseum. We bought it. We paid the $30-something to own it so we could watch it at home. My wife and I went to Universal Studios just to go on the Minions ride.
Oh, that's a good ride.
It's not.
I liked it.
It's actually not.
You're wrong.
It's just a VR experience. It's not even a real ride. But Minions, it is what it is. If you're going in expecting something different, that's on you. And I wasn't. I'm over.
Nah, I tried to get the kids to watch one of these 2 movies last night, and I got nothing.
No,
we ended up watching Inside Out, which is a great movie.
Oh, I love that movie. This is better than
There needs to be an Inside Out too.
Yeah, and yes, there should be.
Like with her going through that puberty, it'd be hilarious.
It would be so fun.
Imagine like Inside Out with her going through.
Have you seen the shorts? The Inside Out shorts? Where it shows her going on her first date.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
really good.
Amazing.
But this is better than the first Minions. But anyway. All right.
So this is the one we talked about this like 2 years ago. So Carlos Ghosn, he is the old CEO of Nissan who got charged in Japan with fraud and stealing money from Nissan and not reporting compensation, a whole bunch of stuff. And he was on house arrest for the trial, awaiting trial. And he set up this elaborate escape where he escapes the country in a
cello case,
a big musical instrument case. And this is basically his story. So it's him in the documentary talking about
his wife.
He and his wife from Lebanon, where they live now in Beirut, because it's the only place they can be in the world.
They can't be extracted.
They can't extract it.
Yeah.
And they tell the story of what happened and how he got himself out.
And the dad and son who they hired to get him out are in
jail.
prison.
The U.S. extradited him to Japan, and they're in jail.
So how do you think they feel?
Probably.
They don't have the money he promised them.
And they have real video stuff. They had video surveillance footage of those two guys coming in the country.
Really?
And the idea of it is those two guys came in the country acting like they were musicians. And they were in the country to play like one performance, and they were high dollar in a private jet. And they said this is a very expensive piece of equipment. It can't be run through X-ray because it will detune it. And the Japanese guys believed it. And even one of the guys in the airport was like joking around, like, "Oh, he's probably got a beautiful woman in there."
Oh my god!
It's like, oh no, that guy definitely got fired from his security job.
So this is not a dramatization of it. This is
a documentary about how it went down. It's an hour and 40 minutes. I watched it on the airplane home.
What streaming service is it?
Netflix.
Oh, it is Netflix.
Yep, you can get it on Netflix.
BBC did it.
Yeah, BBC did it.
Which you know it's really good then. And what's that? It won an official selection at the Sheffield Doc Fest. Okay.
I mean, it's called The Last Flight, and this is going to be a movie someday. Someone right now is producing and making this movie. I guarantee it.
Yeah, we had talked back on Utah Car Sense about who would play Carlos Ghosn in this
it was
movie.
the guy from Rookie of the Year, the agent.
Dan Hedaya.
Dan Hedaya. He's the perfect guy.
Yeah, he'd be great.
But they and talk about one of them was there's an American involved in this who was the board member who the Japanese accused of helping. And they
helping him escape?
Yeah,
or
helping him commit the crimes.
Or whatever, yeah, okay.
And they eventually pled guilty to one crime and was time served and got returned to the U.S. like last year sometime.
Wow.
And it was crazy though.
This story is made for movies.
Oh, it's an incredible story. I mean, it's amazing. So
someone once said that VW
highly recommend watching
would be a good movie.
Yeah. I would highly recommend this. This is a cool story.
Okay, The Last Flight.
All right, so
coming
movies
out
coming
today,
out.
Bullet Train. This is Brad Pitt. It's a comedy action movie. It's one setting. They're on this train the whole time. I'm really interested to see if this is any good because I've been tricked by trailers before, both ways. The first trailer I saw of this, I went, "This is not going to be good." The second trailer I saw, I thought,
I think it's going to be really good.
I don't know. It could go either way.
I don't know. Well,
We'll see.
That's
out
going to be
today.
theaters for a while. So.
And then DC League of Super Pets is going to be really dumb, but I'm going to laugh my head off because I think Kevin Hart and The Rock are really good together.
They're really funny. They're always funny together.
Yep.
Even if they're in animated form, they're going to be funny together.
Jumanji movie, the CIA movie, the Central Intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah, very excited about that one.
And then you can stream this one. It's by Ron Howard.
With Viggo and Colin Farrell.
Viggo Mortensen, Colin Farrell. It is a dramatization of the Thai cave rescue.
Yeah.
Where the soccer team was stuck in the cave in Thailand.
Who's playing Elon Musk from the sidelines?
Yeah, I don't know if he's in it. Yeah.
Probably going to avoid that
he
one.
said about the
very bad things.
Now, I have yet to watch this for one reason. I watched The Rescue that won Best Documentary on Disney Plus right now. It's the documentary of
this whole thing.
And it's phenomenal. And it's hard.
It's hard to watch.
But it's good to watch. And so for that reason, I've yet to watch this.
Are you worried they're going to ruin it?
I'm a little worried that, did you ever watch like, what was the Mark Wahlberg Boston bombing movie?
Oh.
Patriots Day or whatever?
Patriot Day, yeah.
And it cheapened a real thing in a way.
I can see where you're coming on that.
And I'm a little worried about that. But I'll probably watch it. I hear it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it. That's going to be good. That's out right now on Prime Video.
Yep, check it out on Amazon Prime for sure. All right, that's it. Episode 23 in the books.
Think it was long enough for our...
Lyle, let us know.
Let us know for long enough.
If not, you can. There's 22 other episodes. You can go and start over.
If you want, you can call the store, ask for Austin, and just talk to him for a while.
Call Southtown, ask for Anthony Swenson in finance, and he'll listen to your complaints.
All right, good show.
Good show. We'll do it again next week, maybe.
We'll see.
We'll see. Thanks to Ashley behind the scenes. He's Jeff. I'm Austin. Till next week, Utah by 5.
Trust me.